Hello, hello, and welcome to a new episode of Whispers of Inner Power, the interview series for sensitive women, highly sensitive women in business. Today I'm joined by Marie-Louise Cee, who is an artist, writer, mindfulness educator, running Feastly Human, a beautiful space and at the intersection of philosophy, mindfulness, and creative practice. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marie-Louise. How are you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
So good.
Very honored.
We were discussing a little bit before pressing the live button, and you were saying that something major had happened recently. Tell us, what happened?
So 10 days ago, me and my family, part of my family, I have four daughters, but only two living at home at the moment. We had carbon monoxide poisoning. And yes, it's as bad as it sounds. It was a crazy moment. Um, I'm, I, yeah, I wanted to touch on that first because I don't know how it works, but it kind of stays in the brain. And I made a quick internet research that says you can have side effects for days to weeks after. So I'm really hoping it goes away. And I've had brain fog before, but this is quite something. So I may look for words, and I may not be as sharp and articulate as I'm used to be. But also, I just wanted to say, it was an experience in intuition, because I kind of had an alarm ringing in my head that something was happening, and my carbon detector was malfunctioning, and then I tweaked it, and it rang. And so if you don't have one, please, and you're listening to this, it will save your life because it doesn't smell anything. And also there are more carbon monoxide poisoning at the moment because of the heat waves. And so the first thing to do is to open all your windows. But it was 8 p.m. The kids were in bed, and we were all tired because it really gets at you. And if we would all have gone to bed, some of us wouldn't be here to talk about it. So we had quite high levels of carbon monoxide in our blood. Yeah.
Wow,
So
it's terrifying to hear, and like you said,
it
it's
is.
something that you can't really know. It's incredible that you had that instinct to check. How did it happen? Is it because of the boiler or something, or
Yes, the boiler. Yes. So look for signs of weird headache, pounding, and nausea. What's the English? Like dizziness.
yeah?
And my youngest daughter had it worse because she's tiny, and she started to throw up, but we thought it was like a stomach bug or something, until I was sure it wasn't that. But I can't really explain. I have to say. But I'm so, yeah.
Wow. And
It's,
so you
yeah,
realize, or maybe the detector isn't working, which I mean, come on, you buy them, you think this is going to protect us and it's
yeah, yeah.
malfunctioning. You change something, it starts ringing. And then what did you do?
I opened the window. I called the first response. I don't know how.
Emergency
That's
service,
also les pompiers.
right? The firefighters, yes.
And yeah, and they couldn't, because I opened the windows, their detectors didn't get any traces. It can go away quite fast, but you have to replace it with something else. And that's the same in your body. We had to breathe in oxygen masks, delivering high doses of oxygen for 12 hours. So
Wow.
we spent the night in the ER, all in separate rooms, breathing into oxygen masks. Yeah, and I also felt, that quote they have about mothers, that you need to put your oxygen mask. it made me think I will write an article about that, because you don't want to do that. You want to put it on your child.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, actually. And then they sent me away to have my own. But I really thought a lot about it, and I've written about it. And then I went away, and I really connected very differently to my creativity. And my mindfulness practice, like the formal part of it, really, I was so supportive to go through everything you think, when something as bad as this happens, you go like, oh, there's guilt, there's fear, there's I shouldn't have done this or that, and you want someone to blame. And so, like, having a formal practice really takes you through these steps without taking you away from the experience.
Yeah.
And yes.
Really challenging. So what does your formal practice look like?
So I'm graduating very soon from the Insight meditation tradition. And my teachers are Jack Cornfield and Tara Brach, if you know them.
Of course.
And I love their teachings because it's very secular. So you can touch a bit on Buddhism, but if you feel like some people have their own history with religion, well, you can take this practice, and it's simple, and it really relates to the daily life. You can do it anywhere, etc. I really love. So my formal practice for myself is sitting every day, and I have a setup. I have a zafu and a zabuton. If people don't know what it is, like a square mat with a round cushion on top. So you don't hurt. It's really for comfort. You don't hurt your ankles. You'll have the position is comfortable, but it allows for you to be alert. And then it's just being with what's there. And there's no mantra, no things, no, you are not looking for enlightenment. You are just looking to be with what is. And I think this is the most beautiful thing, because especially when you are, I think, sensitive, or when you are an artist, there's a lot of inner talk, and there can be judgment, self-judgment. We have a stronger inner critic, women also. And so it's not about trying to be silent in your head, because your brain is going to think anyway. And if you are a combination of being highly sensitive, a bit neurodivergent, ADHD, stuff like that, it keeps going. So there's a huge allowing component to the practice. And yes, deep acceptance.
Yeah.
So, but the formal part is that you do it every day. You sit to practice. And I sit for between 10 or 30 minutes a day. That depends. And when I can't sit, I bring the practice to what I'm doing. And that's also the beautiful aspect of it, is that you do the dishes like you really do the dishes. What's pleasant, what's unpleasant. It's really an inquiry of your experience. And I really love it for creativity, because I think when you get to you get in the flow. It's almost ingrained in the practice, because I think it's easier to get in the flow when you are in your experience. And I've been practicing like that for many years, and I've been practicing differently before, but I really stuck to it in that form because I think it's gentle, it's kind, and oh gosh, that's what we need.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And also sometimes I think a lot of people can be, stopped or blocked from practicing mindfulness or meditation or creativity because we have this idea of what it should look like, the setting it should be, and you mentioned your pillow, your meditation pillow. I didn't catch the word you used, but I imagine it's like a pillow. And I refer to myself, for instance. I love what you shared. I've been practicing mindfulness and meditation for years as well, but not quite as you did, as you have. Recently, I went back to it and decided I'm going to just going to sit for at least 10 minutes and see where it gets me without, because usually in the past, I would listen to a guided meditation, for instance, which is, it's okay, but I've wanted, I've been wanting something different and to just be present with my thoughts, the temperature, everything around me. And it's really magical, like you were saying, because it's like instead of resisting to what actually is happening around me, and you have children like I do, you can't always control your environment or have this moment of pure quiet for 30 minutes. I mean, I homeschool them, they're with me all the time. And I tell them I'm taking a time away. I'm being alone right now, but my youngest is 5, like it's inevitable. I would usually be tense with that. Like, no, I'm meditating. I'm doing this thing. It has to be this way. So it's like more control and more resistance, the opposite of what we're trying to reach, right? But I see how this practice, and I'm not sure mine is like yours, but I can see the similarities to just, he's there and he's talking to me and I don't need to respond. I'm just telling him nicely, I'm sitting right now with my eyes closed. I'm meditating. So I'm not going to respond, but I'm telling him I'm responding while I do that, and it's okay. There's really something, what's the word? It transpires to everything else throughout the day, because then if you can accept that things are imperfect in this moment, then it's also okay for the next bit where you're working or you're being creative for your work, for your job, or things like that. It just brings that acceptance to everything else. And I want to make the parallel with creativity, which is our topic today, creativity as medicine, because I think it's one of the reasons why we don't allow ourselves to play with drawing and painting and whatever you like to create with, because you think, oh, I have to have 2 hours and all my material and create something beautiful. So I'm going to give the mic to you so you can respond to that.
Yeah. Well, if I can just touch on something you said, and it's going to transition very nicely into the creativity, because I think for me, it's so linked. And I couldn't say how it happened, which of the two I did first. I think it really happened organically that I started meditating more, and I decided that my creativity had to be in the forefront of my life, and the two feed each other. But what's helpful in meditation that you can take in creativity is that sort of buffer you give yourself between your thoughts and reality. And so you don't have your thoughts and emotions so stuck in the experience, and then something expands and you start responding instead of reacting. And for me, that was really crucial to understand that. There's a quote actually from Viktor Frankl about between your experience, like a stimulus, and you can expand, you can create something that will bring a response instead of reaction. And I should look for the precise quote, but I love it. And and also the relationship to this perfect idea that we get, because I think social media doesn't help. You see asanas, you see these perfect yogis and perfect meditation spaces. I'd like to say as well very quickly that I have chronic pain, and so sometimes I meditate on a chair, Sometimes I meditate lying down. And for the best part of last year, I couldn't sit cross-legged.
Mm-hmm.
And, but, okay, so response, and perfection in creativity, the way I see it, I try to make it as portable as I can. But also recognizing that, okay, if you are an artist, you need a finished piece to sell. Maybe you need bigger. But if you want to use creativity for as medicine for your daily life, and you want to reconnect with that part of yourself, I mean, the more I made it portable, because also of the children.
Mm-hmm.
And because it had to be practical. So, and because it has to become a response instead of a reaction as well. Like the creative part of myself, I wanted it to be joyful, peaceful, nurturing, and I didn't want it to be delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had this sense of, I don't like the word urgency usually,
Yeah, but it fits.
but
Yeah.
it fits here. Like it's kind of a good urgency, because it's not I'm saying that because I taught a workshop that was called agency over urgency, but because it's when you have all these demands from the outside world and expectations and things like that. But when it's from within, it's a good kind of urgency. You need to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I think, I don't know where I was going. You see, like,
No,
I'm not,
makes
am
complete.
I?
You're still
Yeah.
making complete sense. Maybe you feel
All
like you
right.
lost the thread, but you but you didn't. It's all very
All right. All
very
right.
connected. I love the idea of making, your creative practice portable, and I think it's really what's made me able to create more. This year, I create in my job, but create websites, and I'm a copywriter. But to have my little watercoloring practice or whatever. Now I've tried with pastels, soft pastels. It's a mess, but it's fine.
Very
I
messy pastels.
yes,
Yeah,
I,
that's good for letting go, actually.
I have my little basket, that I can bring in any room that I could. So I practice with my son. He's making a mess. It's fine as well. I think for me to choose watercoloring as well. I'm not good. I don't care. Because watercoloring, I feel I cannot control. And so this is letting go practice. It's become my mindfulness practice in that moment. It's like, let's just see what it does, And if it looks good, it's good. If it doesn't look good, it's good. It's just, that's not the point. I think it's really, really effective to have that portable quality to your creativity. And I wanted to share something because recently I had this, I don't know, insight. I was journaling. It was about a month ago. It was the new moon, I think, the latest new moon or full moon. I forgot. But I know I usually have bigger realizations around these new moon or full moons. That's why I say that. And I was making a list. I was like, wait a minute, because there are things I do to cope. We all cope. Life is hard sometimes. We need to cope, right? There are things I do that I go towards as coping mechanism that I think are going to make me feel good or better. And it does for a little moment, but then I feel quite worse. Whereas there are things that I don't always think of, or I know it exists. I'm like, oh no, because it's going to take time. I'm not so sure. It demands a bit more of my intention, I think, to go that way. But it bring good effects on me longer term. And creativity is part of that. So I made this is like, wait, the things I believe are going to make me feel good versus the things I don't always think of, but actually make me feel good. I was like, okay, having, instant cappuccino, for instance. It's a very, it's very Instagrammable. You have like this cup with the cappuccino. Oh, it's a self-care moment. And so I buy this Nescafe thing, when I drink it, I'm drinking it right now. It's great. It's very sweet. But then right after, I feel like I want to nap and I'm so drowsy. And why did I even have that coffee? Whereas that same time of making that cappuccino, that's like 10 minutes, I can put that into a quick painting and drawing. And instantly I'm in the present moment. And when I'm doing that, I'm not thinking, oh, is my client going to like the copy I wrote for her? And how much money will I make next month? Like in that moment, I'm like, is it this Carmen or that vermilion I'm choosing for the flower? And so I wanted to just share that story with you. Is that something that you've had yourself that you've experienced yourself, or something you teach maybe? Do you see this experience often?
I see it, yeah. I've written about it. I've written about the fact that I remember it was a few months ago. I think you can see how creativity and mindfulness practice are linked to me. I stopped meditating for like I don't know, something like a week. I was going through something and it was never, and I couldn't be bothered to meditate. And when I returned to it, I thought, why did I
ever stop?
Move away from it? That's weird. And like just one session, I felt so much better. And it's the same with doing a tiny creative thing. So I think there are many layers to why we do that. And I think one, and it's just something on the spot, I haven't written or talked about it in this way, but I think there's something around comfort and discomfort, and how we are trained by society. I think it's very everywhere to avoid discomfort and to choose what's going to bring immediate gratification. This one we know with social media, but I think it's also everywhere. It's not only on social media. If anything, this is a symptom. It was there before. I mean, even when we were at school, for example, I was born in 79, and I was a teen in the 90s. It was already there, and we didn't have social media. So, so there's something where creativity is a tiny bit uncomfortable. There's a tiny bit of vulnerability. Same as if you have a journaling practice. Are you going to pour something on the page, any kind of creative practice? If you are a ceramist, you never know how it's going to turn out. So the brain can be a bit more like, let's have coffee. Because coffee is a sure thing, It's always going to taste the same almost, except if you change the kind of milk you put in it. So you see, so there's something about that. So and again, the thing is not to be like, oh, I shouldn't be like that. It's more to be like, oh, this is happening. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And so the other thing that I thought when you mentioned this story is, I forgot.
Maybe it will come back. It makes me think of how, we have bias. I think it's connected. Our brain has bias, and the way to change is to notice that your bias was wrong, because you cannot continue doing something that isn't that is wrong. That's just not true. It's like, okay, no, it's going to take me so much time to open my notebook and sketch something, but you actually notice that it takes 5 minutes and that it makes you feel better. The fact of noticing it, you're actually telling your brain by experience, I was wrong. And if you can tell it once you were wrong, and actually makes you feel good, and actually doesn't, it's not so hard as you believe it would be, then next time it's much more easier to make that choice.
Yes, this is what, yeah, thank you for that. You
Well,
read my mind. I think sometimes we think it's going to take a lot of time to take the supplies. So that, I think that's why it's very important to have some sort of system. I'm a fan of systems. Either, I don't know, if even if it's a bag, a special basket, a special table somewhere, a corners, anything. But there's also the fact that, I mean, for me, I have some sort of devotion towards my creative practice, and I have this idea of how it should look like when I create.
mm,
So I really had to make a conscious effort to move away from that. So the systems, they help so that, because we always are doing things in between. As
mhm.
mothers, as women, as we are busy. So, and it really moved my art practice forward to be more of, ooh, I have, uh, I have 5 minutes. I'm going to do something. So
Yeah.
if you people are interested in this, I have a bunch of articles on how to make a portable studio, all the tricks I'm using, all the tools I'm using. I really go in depth. I have a purse kit that I keep in my purse that I always have, and it has a journal, a sketchbook, and some art supplies. It's my most minimal kit, but I can do all the things I like doing, which are writing and drawing. But then I have a kit that has more stuff, more mixed media, more variety. So I've shared. I think it's nice to prep yourself,
Mm.
like you are. It's like your first aid kit for
I love it.
creativity.
Oh, I
Yeah,
love it. First aid kit for create. I'm
yeah.
definitely stealing this idea. I'm going straight into buying little purses to put things like that in my bag. Definitely is going to happen. I just love that idea. Marie-Louise, you run live sessions that you call chats in the atelier. Is that right?
Yeah.
Um, what happens in these chats?
Oh, that's a funny story. My friend, Georgina, uh, she's on Substack. She's a creator too. And we were discussing doing lives, and I say, "Oh, I'm afraid I don't know what to say. I don't really like my accent, blah, blah, blah. I'm French."
I love your
And
accent.
and she said, "Do a quiet one." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to do a paint with me." And then what happened is that I couldn't shut up.
See,
So
again, bias. You think it's going to
yes.
be one way, but in fact,
And so I took it. So last I try to do it every Friday at 3 p.m. And the point of these sessions, they are for everyone, they are open to everyone, is to just do whatever is here. So sometimes, like, I didn't post a replay of that one, but the previous one, I did a self-compassion practice for creatives. It was really, really nice. It was a really nice moment because I damaged one of my paintings, taking them to the frame shop, and I have to remake it entirely. It's ruined. So, working with all the thoughts and feelings we have about stuff, that's very important. But then, I just draw, and if I do something and I have something to teach about it, or if I'm just making things up. And I think it's really nice. I really love these sessions, and the feedback has been that it's a moment where we don't have to take ourselves seriously. And also, the other thing I thought about your anecdote and making art is when I think, and about your topic, when creativity is really a medicine, is when we disconnect it from any outcome. And this is the purpose of these sessions. I'm not, sometimes I paint like artwork that is going to go on my shop, but doing it in the sessions, I really can move away from the outcome aspect of making art or making something. You don't have to think who it's for. if you're gonna hang it, if it's gonna be like, I don't know, if you are making a quilt, you don't have to think about how it will look like. And people can just bring their practice. Some people, they just don't do anything, but I see friends here that sometimes join the chat in the atelier, and I really love these sessions.
Oh,
Yes.
that's wonderful. I think I've recently decided to work only 4 days per week, so I never work on Fridays. I think I might drop in. That
Oh, I
sounds
would love that. I would love that.
sounds like a wonderful idea. Thank you so much for sharing that. Is there something else that you'd like to share with us? Maybe a last word of wisdom.
Um, can I just mention, have a free mindfulness course for beginners, for people who would like to try these practices. It starts Saturday, but there's a replay. It's just 1 hour every Saturday for 4 Saturdays. So it
Mm,
will run until the 1st of August, from this Saturday, the 11th of July. And I will teach about all the basics, about posture, etc. But it's called Hope in Practice. And yeah, for me, this is the medicine, hope. And everything I do, and I'm writing a book on hope. It's a multi-purpose, multimedia project. Yeah, this is it. This is what we need, like like a deep breath, and thinking, yeah, we have agency, we can do things. And creativity, it brings you agency.
mm.
It brings it from your creative practice into your life,
Yeah,
feeling capable and
I
feeling
love
kind to ourselves.
that. Yeah, that's so empowering to thank you so much for this last. I mean, to mention your meditation course, but also to this last message of creativity as a practice of finding your agency and how you can also create good in the world. I think a lot of us are, a bit not feeling so good about the state of the world, and sometimes can. I know I have a very bubbly side and a very dark side too, where I go like everything's lost and we're gonna die and everything is terrible. But I love that image of that idea of hope, and that by practicing creativity, you remember that you can also create good things in this world and share kindness. So thank you so much for that. I'm going to keep those words with me. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
for, giving me the opportunity to say it. This is really like, I keep talking about that. I'm very passionate. And it was such a nice conversation. I wish it could last for hours.
I know this the feeling in general when I'm having these talks, because the point is not to be performative, not to be, it's really like we were having a cup of coffee together and discovering a bit of your world. So thank you so much for your energy, for your time, for your wisdom, and I'll add all the links of the things you've mentioned in the description of this. So the replay is available, but I will share it again with a proper introduction of you and your work, and so everything will be in there. Thank you so much, Marie-Louise.
Thank you, Jessica.
Bonne journée.
À bientôt.
À bientôt. Bye.